Hello, hello, SpeedGaming 2. Welcome to the Summer 2024 No Logic Tournament. Today we have an exciting match. Actually, this is game 2 of Krithel versus Malmo. And I believe this is winners round 3. So, anyways, two very talented runners, so this should be a really exciting match. But, Krithel is down one game, so needs to win this one to tie it up and take it to game 3. Oh, just for anyone that is not aware, No Logic is a mode where the items are shuffled completely at random, and we are allowed to use major glitches to ensure that we can get everything done. And what that includes is we have to collect all 7 crystals, fight Aghanim 2 and Ganon, and we must also defeat the 7 crystal bosses as well, which is not a given in this mode, and we'll see why. But anyways, we both have a Link's house start for Krithel and Malmo, and we get the flippers right away, so Swamp is not going to be a big issue if we have to do that dungeon. So, looks like we're getting a sync here. Alright, very nice. So this is a very common early route. Fake flipper to get the man under the bridge, swim clip to Ice Rod Cave, and water walk to the waterfall, and check the Zora ledge as well. I'm having a bit of an issue with the clip. Yeah, this trick is notoriously finicky, but she gets it. And Krithel got it as well, taking a very slight lead into Ice Rod Cave. So just a small key to Skullwoods. I mean, small keys are helpful. They're not required, but they can be very convenient at times. Map of Mire in the waterfall. Maps are very important because we do not know the prize layout without, finding out. Maps are one of the ways to find out the prize. Talking to Sahasrara and the bomb shop vendor also help give us clues, as with any other key sanity mode. So Krithel going to Sahasrara. Malmo finding the lamp in the sanctuary. Well, that's a very, very powerful item, not just for seeing in the dark. It allows us to do several glitches in the misslotting category, and we'll get to more on that later when it comes up. Green Pendant Hera is kind of unfortunate, because Hera is one of the dungeons that it generally is not that hard to do, and it generally gets done anyway. Malmo getting bombs from a tree pole. That's always nice to see. Bombs are a very good resource for glitching, and we see our first fire rod. I forgot to mention that this is double rods, so we have 2 of each rod in the item pool. So anyways, fire rod in the thief's hideout. Alright, Malmo heading to the right. is setting up a DMA, or Death Mountain Ascent. This is a pretty standard way of getting into the Old Man Rescue Cave without having a glove. And krithel following behind with the DMA as well. Now we're getting some atrocious Dead Rock RNG, but it gets through. Small key to Castle Tower, which is the place that Malmo rarely ever goes, so we'll see if that gets used or not. A Graveyard Ledge DMD on Malmo's side, or Death Mountain Descent, allows us to get here, fill up on bombs, check the item. Also allows us to Houlihan as well. krithel also doing the DMD. I'd imagine krithel probably goes to South Shore. But Malmo could decide to go to Sahasrara since she hasn't been there yet. Okay, we're just going to South Shore. This is kind of a standard route. Just a piece of heart in the dam. And krithel following to South Shore as expected. Okay, the sunken treasure is a shield, and we will gladly leave that behind. We don't need it. A magic drop from the mini Moldarm is good. A single arrow. Small key to Meyer, 20 rupees. Big key of pod. Bombs. Okay. So the pod big key is helpful, not just for pod. It's our first cave state big key, and Malmo is setting up a bomb juke to go to King's Tomb. And it was successful. And half magic was the item. Very interesting. Half magic is a really nice item to find. It provides a lot of safety and quality of life. krithel also going for the door juke, and Malmo going to Sahasrara, so presumably, well, I was going to say krithel's going to be a little bit ahead, but having a little trouble with this juke, so it's pretty much even, like exactly, on what they've done. And krithel actually still is a little bit ahead. Not by much, but a little bit. Yeah, where are we going now? Okay, Hera clip for krithel. Malmo also on the mountain. She's doing the other Hera, or no, this is not the Hera clip. This is the clip before Kiki skip. So, krithel went to Hera. Malmo is going to Palace of Darkness through Spectacle Rock Cave. Malmo's bomb placement was a little bit off, and I question wasting a bomb to kill this enemy. It might be better to just leave and re-enter. This is an uncharacteristic difficulty that we're seeing on Malmo's side. But she does get through. Okay, krithel crossing the mountain. Okay, so Malmo can use the cave state big key that we have, which coincidentally is the Palace of Darkness big key, and krithel sees a sword on the floating island. And does not grab it. So the reasoning for that is probably that he's hoping that there's a bottle with a potion in Paradox Cave. Kind of a long shot, but it's certainly possible. We can duplicate that sword with an overworld YBA. Even if he doesn't find one in Paradox Cave, he may decide to put off claiming the sword for even longer. We see a bow in the Dark Maze of Pod, and Malmo got Quake from somewhere inside as well. 2 bows in the Dark Maze, okay. Alright. Well, the silver arrows are a really nice item to have, not just for Ganon and bosses, but there's some pretty specific setups for glitches that silvers can make easier. Okay, krithel in Paradox 5 right now. Malmo gets a glove. Excuse me, Malmo gets a glove in the Rupee basement. Hammer for krithel and blue mail. So it looks like krithel did not, in fact, find a bottle in Paradox Cave, and it looks like he's just going to go up to the top of the mountain and grab the sword anyway. Small key to swamp, I think that was on Malmo's side. That's potentially a good key to have. Especially since we have flippers. And Malmo also got a sword, and so this pod is pretty stacked with 2 bows and a glove and sword. And the Swamp Small may be relevant. Generally, people prefer the Hera Small, but there are some situations where the Swamp Small can still be quite useful. And krithel also going to Palace of Darkness via Spectacle Rock Cave. Which is definitely, you know, the way that you do it in this mode, but... he's going to be pleasantly surprised to get the sword in the back, because he seemed reluctant to grab the first sword. TR is small for Malmo on the bow side of pod. 2 TR smalls. Okay, well, I mean, those could be good. Or they might not matter. It's too soon to tell. Okay, Malmo setting up a bomb juke. First try, very nice. Now we just need to do some specific movements to not soft lock, and then... Because we are juked right now, when we get back to the room we started in, the transition will take us to a different spot. In this case, it's Hookshot Cave. Which is a little surprising, given that we don't have the hookshot, and Malmo is not known to be a hoverer, but she will be able to get the one item and the Super Bunny items as well. And I think this is her plan to do the east side of the Light World Mountain too, by using a fake world transition. krithel gets his bow and silver arrows in the same room. Hey, Malmo into Hookshot Cave. Alright, Super Bunny Cave on Malmo's side has Piece of Heart and a cape. I think cape is nice to have sometimes, especially because we have half magic. We might actually get some use out of it. Krithel going for the hover to right side. Another chance to pick up some time here if he gets it. Malmo, as predicted, was able to get to the East Light World Mountain quickly, just because of being in the fake Dark World. Krithel did get the hover despite a lot of correction. He was hovering for a very long time there. He decides to get the arrows first, but Krithel also setting up a juke. Okay, also first try on Krithel's side. So Krithel is picking up a little bit more time here, just because Malmo like bombed the floor and went through those rooms twice, essentially. It was like once and then doing it again after juking. Hey, Malmo getting her hammer and blue mail in Paradox and saving and quitting. Alright, hover time again for Krithel. Malmo clipping up Suhera. Oh, Krithel gets like a vanilla 50, I think that was, in Hookshot Cave. There's trouble. And hovering instead of bonking is interesting there. Okay, just bombs. Only one check left for this to pay out. Oh, no. That is... Ugh, maybe his hand just slipped. That is painful to see. Just getting the hover and then falling anyway. Alright, well this is not a hover seed so far, which is unfortunate for Krithel, but the show must go on. Alright, so Malmo checking the inside of Spectacle Rock Cave, seeing that it's a heart container, ignoring it. Entering the Dark World. Probably Skull Woods play would be my guess. And we see Meyer is a crystal. Oh, so that could be interesting. It could be annoying as well for the runners. You only have one medallion, so... And no guarantee you have easy access to the crystal. Okay, Krithel making a play for TR, it looks like. We're finally getting some divergence here. So Malmo did a citrus clip to do a Dark World DMD without having the Moon Pearl, and we see nothing on Bumper Ledge. He's gonna head into Skull Woods and just take a Death Warp so we can, you know, check items there and complete the dungeon. Krithel In TR, so far, just arrows in the vanilla big key chest. Now, this chain shop is being super rude, just blocking the switch. Oh no, it takes a death before getting the item. Ugh, well, I have to imagine we're not going to see what the item is now. Yep, save and quit. That is super unfortunate for krithel. To make the time investment of the play and not get the payout. I don't think Malmo's finding much of anything in this Skull Woods yet, though, either. Alright, krithel and back of escape. Yeah, I'm surprised Malmo didn't do this, actually. I see book, heart container, and red boomerang. Boomerang could be nice. Alright, krithel doing another bomb juke. Alright, Malmo, despite being a rando main these days, does show correct movement in that room, not pulling the statue too far down, and nicely doing it. Cane of Samaria in the Skull Woods big key chest, very good find. So, easily the most overpowered item in the game. And it only gets more powerful with other items. Okay, so krithel, I'm guessing, did not like the pyramid item. I don't think he got anything. So anyways, more fake world transitions, and we're able to just get to the castle. See, Uncle has nothing. And Malmo into the back of Skullwoods. Okay, just a pod small in the secret passage. krithel decides to save and quit, rather than going to the castle. So it's interesting that we've not seen any bottles yet. These bottles are one of the most versatile glitching items. There's a lot of items generally need other items to make them better. Alright, finally we're getting a play for Kakariko. This makes sense because krithle's like only other option was to like do what Malmo's doing pretty much. Well, I shouldn't say only option. I mean, there are a lot of options always, but like this is a good option is what I meant to say. We see the big key to Hera and the big key to TR. After just being there is, yeah, that stings a little bit. Yeah, the game just loves to do that to you with these big keys. But Malmo's option was certainly the more aggressive play. I think a lot of people might decide to do what krithle's doing first, just because if you get like a Moon Pearl or something, it would make this play faster and easier, but Malmo did get rewarded with the King of Samaria. We have no idea when krithle's going to get that. And she does manage to take down the boss with relative ease, and it's the first crystal of the seed, so nicely done. Oh, it's 23 minutes. First boss, first crystal. Slight lead. And Malmo, again, not going to the back of escape. I think she just totally forgot that she has a glove, but yeah, we know that it was only a book, which may not matter. Meanwhile, I don't think krithel actually found anything helpful in town, other than a couple big keys. A small key pod, definitely not the key you're hoping for if you go out of your way for it, but there you have it. Alright, krithel into desert. Oh, he hit the moon pearl. I missed that. Okay, the moon pearl was in the well. I did completely miss that. Alright, so I don't want to say Malmo lost time by bunny clipping to go to Skullwoods because the King of Samaria is a huge payout, and we see a nice tempered sword in the desert map chest. So where Malmo potentially gets time back, aside from just being ahead on bosses, is that she can use the King of Samaria to do lots of things in desert that krithel is not able to do. Unless this just happens to be like a preloaded bottle, which it's not. I'd imagine Malmo is going to show us some stuff inside Thieves Town and Swamp using the King of Samaria. krithel gets the big key to Swamp, which is not great, unfortunately, but I mean, who knows, maybe it will get used. Passing on 300 in K45 is... Well, I was gonna say that's greedy, but leaving money behind seems not greedy, but it's greedy on time. Because this is like the potion glitching mode. Even though we have no bottles yet. The key to Skullwoods, okay, so that could be a 1-up for krithel. We know he has to go there at some point since it's a crystal. And Malmo is never going back there. I'm curious, krithel's gonna save and quit after this chest, and I'm really curious where he's gonna go. He has a few choices. I think Castle and then Juke to Thieves Town is probably the one that makes the most sense, but we'll see what krithel decides to do. Just another TR small in the chest in Agina's cave. Malmo is trying to do a North Samaria. Oh, actually, I already did it. Never mind. It just looked really funny because the enemies were in the door. Okay, so it's doing a Samaria Transition Corruption, or STC. We are able to, well, do a variety of effects. In this case, we wanted to go to Thieves Town. Oh yeah, I forgot. We have Pearl and Hammer and Glove. Actually, this is way better than what I said. Sorry about that. This type cave play makes total sense. The Dark World exists, and we can just go there. Okay, Map of Ice, Heart Container, Heart Piece, and Small Key to Ganon's Tower. And yeah, this is a way better idea than what I said, so even though it didn't exactly super pay out, but I don't know. Like, to at least check it is a good idea. I mean, he didn't really get anything life-changing, though. So maybe in this case, Thieves Town would have had a payout, or it would have been at least progress. So all in Malmo got in Thieves Town was the small key to ice, but bombing open the attic is a big time save for later if Thieves Town is a crystal. Alright, so this East Samaria is more tricky than North Samaria by quite a lot, but you get you excuse me. We get used to doing these though, because it's just so helpful. Okay, and now we're in Swamp. I heard resetting the tile set by going up and down the stairs. Nice fire rod for krithel in Myershed. Tells me she wants to go to Argus, so this is kind of a wasted opportunity in my opinion, because having the flippers and the swamp small and Samaria, she could have like put the water in the front room of Swamp from Agina's cave. Although not having a way to go back to Hera though to get the crystal, maybe it's not a wasted opportunity. But it would allow her to get items in Swamp though. So it is a wasted opportunity in that regard. And yes, because of the glitch that we used to get here, our camera is unlocked, so all we have to do is scroll the puffs off screen. And nice shampoo from Malmo. Because the puffs are quite angry when you skip the phase 1, and they will attack you if you aren't careful. Was that the big key of this dungeon? Oh, well, she got something on Argus, and the pendant for Desert. So that was the Desert Big then, not the Swamp Big. A mushroom for krithel in the chest game. So Malmo, again, showing us the fake world. Like, we weren't actually in the dark world because we went through the underworld to get to there. Alright, krithel is into Thieves Town. And it's confirmed to be a crystal. Apparently we already knew that. I trust our tracker as doing a better job paying attention than me, a red male in Thieves Town. A very complained about item. I think it's fine, but most people don't agree with that. So it looks like, okay, krithel is walking out of here, and the reason he's walking out and not death warping is because in Glitched Rando, it has the vanilla behavior that's patched out of non-glitched Rando. So if he death warped, he wouldn't be able to continue his Dark World route because of the fake world mechanic. So this tells me that he's going to Skullwoods. Then Malmo saves and quits to Sanctuary, remembering the back of Escape. Our first bottle in Sea House. krithel immediately frees the bee. Oh, Malmo was about to get a book, and I don't think anything else was back here. Oh, the boomerang was here. I guess that's not nothing. Okay, so both of them will have that red boom then. I just forgot. Okay, so krithel in Skullwoods. I really hope he doesn't skip the big key chest because that is kind of an annoying location. So it's definitely like a candidate for skipping stuff. If you were to skip something. Okay, so Malmo also going into the Dark World, getting the map info. And apparently the ice map that was in Hype Cave told us that ice was also a crystal. Alright, Malmo is setting up a flipper wrap. This is one of our, like, Mitzless Ice Palace solutions. And this makes a lot of sense. She just found out it's a crystal with a glove and hammer. And Samaria, we can do this, like, totally vanilla. And she even has a small key for added convenience if she wants to get iced tea. Alright, krithel did get his Cane of Samaria, which is good news for the race. Okay, Malmo is setting up a bomb clip. It gets it. Very nice. Krithel into the back of Skullwoods. So Malmo going back for the Pen Gators right away is very unexpected, like, especially for her. She was used to be a big advocate for skipping this check if you do the clip through the front wall route. But anyways, she can get everything except the big chest, unless we find the big key in here. The map of Hera, which is, you know, not good, because we already know that's green pendant. Okay, so krithel into the Mothula fight. Nice, the script got the exact script of the vanilla fight. Zero spike. Textbook. Alright, so we're all tied up for now. Malmo... I guess she's not finding anything. I saw 50 rupees, but I missed the other one. In the room with the hammer pegs. Now, this routing tells me that she is going for iced tea. What an unfortunate room name. I actually like iced tea, but like this room just gives it such a bad like connotation. Alright, so krithel is checking the mushroom and buying a potion. Okay, so Malmo gets a shield in the Friezo room, which is helpful. A krithel. I'm guessing also heading to Ice Palace, but just going via a different route. Oh, this makes sense because we can check Sick Kid on the way as well. Just a small key to pod on Sick Kid and Malmo into the Cold Stare fight. That was a really good fight. It was another textbook boss fight. Very well done. Okay, so Malmo has 3 bosses and 2 prizes. The Swamp is still unknown prize though. So we don't know if that kill actually is progress or if it was just a waste of time for Argus. But she does have a lead at the moment. krithel doing alternate route to get to ice, but this is cave state, so we have to leave and re-enter the dungeon. But it does let us do this check a lot more conveniently than what Malmo had to do with the running back and forth a few times. Okay, so Malmo on the mountain. Going to check either tablet, and we have not seen this yet. Just 50 rupees. Okay. Where are we going now? Dark World. The krithel takes the key, yeah, which doesn't really matter, but... Well, it might have mattered for him, because he doesn't have any keys. It means it's going to be very slow to check XT. Yeah, wasn't sure if he got the key or not, and he went back. So yeah, because he was in cave state, the key did not count as an Ice Palace key. So if I was krithel, I would just skip Ice Tea and not worry about it. Because if you go from the bottom up, it's one of the slowest checks in the entire game. So Malmo into Laser Bridge. Map of Swamp, but she wanted to see that. Because we don't know our info still. Ikea Meyer. I've assumed that krithel knows what the Meyer medallion is, but I think we just missed it and it's not tracked. I'm just gonna guess that it's not Quake probably, but I actually have no idea. Alright, so Malmo could actually get the big chest of TR, which krithel was not able to get earlier. But that would involve going outside and coming back in, so I'm not sure if she wants to route that way, but she could, though. And yeah, she's not doing it. Like, reason for this, like, what the thinking here is that if I get an ice rod, I could death warp back to Laser Bridge. But if we go outside to get the big chest, then that is not going to be an option. We would have to just leave and come back, or go all the way through the dungeon, which is almost certainly slower. Okay, the krithel takes down Cold Stare as well. They're currently tied on the crystals. Malmo getting her arrows. Okay, so this chest is kind of important for the race, because krithel is never ever coming back here. So, Malmo in Chain Chomps, but also in one-hit KO range, so she needs to be really careful. Using the cape for safety, well, I mean, that works. Well, fortunately for krithel, it was just a compass, so... Oh, krithel walking tells me he's about to overworld conveyor. Because we don't want to... You actually can dash on the bridge, but it's the tiles before getting to the bridge that are the bad sword activated tiles. So this trick, well, unfortunately misses it the first time, but the point of this is to go to Cave State Mire. And Malmo gets mitts in the compass room of TR. So with this overworld conveyor, we need to carry the conveyor state into the underworld. So there are 2 frames we have to release a swordsman to get into the hole in the Lost Woods without breaking our conveyor or hard-locking the game. Malmo does a North Samaria, meanwhile, to skip some torches. We see Mirror in TR, so krithel is successful so far. There's just one more part of the trick we have to do. And that is the part. It's possible to soft lock there, but krithel you know, bonks at the correct time. And we're in cave state, so we don't care about keys. And this is also confirming to me that probably we don't have the Meyer medallion, but I'm not sure. The krithel will be able to go to the boss if he wants to, though, quite easily, just because having Samaria and Lamp. Alright, PSA, if you're trying to do that rail clip, you can, and you have the cane, you can put a block to prevent the fire snake from bothering you. I mean, if you get it first try, it doesn't matter, but, it is a frame perfect down and A pressed, so you might not get it every time. Okay, so Malmo about to get her second fire rod. Krithel is hovering. It's kind of a far hover, but he did it. Malmo mirroring to go back to desert. I like this routing, remembering that she has the big key. This is probably also going to turn into a Thieves Town play. A krithel not doing spooky. I'm a little surprised, but we can bomb the wall. Hey, Malmo about to get the swamp big. I guess she did not want to go to Thieves Town after. Oh wait, no, she doesn't have a bottle. Never mind. The mirror way is like really slow. Forget what I said. She was not going to Thieves Town. Okay, so krithel takes down Vitreous. Which we know this is required, but being in cave state, he's not going to have a crystal yet. We're going to have to get that later. As Mr. Buyer, our tracker is informing us that the last pendant is a 50-50 of TR or Eastern, and I agree with the assessment to rush dungeons, specifically Eastern, but she can do Helmasaur and then Mirror and do Eastern. Meanwhile, krithel goes to Ganon's Tower. This is a little... like, it's not a bad play, because there are a lot of items here, but... okay, immediately gets rewarded with a second bottle. I mean, yeah, we don't know about Go Mode yet, so it makes sense to look for more items, but... despite the high density here, this is quite a time commitment, so this play, I have a feeling, is going to make or break the entire race right now, whether krithel finds helpful items or not here. But meanwhile, Malmo has done a glitch called Statue Drag to Helmasaur. This is just how you do it in this mode, because we do not want to move the wall. Going the vanilla way takes way too long. Oh. A krithel not having the mirror has to death the warp, which is kind of unfortunate. Definitely wanted to take damage on the spikes beforehand, and like knowing this was coming. Alright, so Malmo gets a crystal and pod and takes down Helmasaur. Okay, mirroring to go to Eastern as predicted. Now we have to mirror twice because we go fake Dark World, real Light World. Alright, krithel hovering. Okay. Another bottle, and that one's easily dupable, although I don't think he's going to do that, because he doesn't have the mirror. Oh, Ice Rod, Big Key of Eastern, and a loaded red bottle. Krithel is out. He agrees with me that checking everything is a lot of time, and he wants to step on the gas right away. So, Malmo rushing Eastern is going to give her info, but Malmo may not be comfortable with the tools she has to complete the seed, if this is the last crystal. It is doable, but I don't know her comfort level with some of the stuff you have to do to get around not having any bottles. Also, this Eastern clear is going to be a lot slower for Malmo. She has to delete the door and then mirror out and come back in. But this is a West Samaria. That was a pretty quick West Samaria. Those deep doors can be kind of annoying, but she did it like very, very quickly though. So that was good. Yeah, krithel is just go-moding. He's not going out of the way for anything, not even the big chest. So if you're rooting for krithel, you are probably wanted this to be a pendant, so that Malmo is forced to make some decisions. Yes, if you missed it in chat, yes, the Ice Rod was in the Dark Magician's room in GT, along with the Eastern Big Key and Krithel's third bottle, so it was very stacked. Hey, Bombos. Okay, so that... And it's a crystal. Okay, so that is the Meyer medallion, so it looks like both our runners actually are in go mode. And even though Malmo's has it marked as complete, she actually does not have the swamp crystal, so it's the disparity is not quite what it seems to be. I think it's fair to say Malmo's a little bit ahead, but krithel has better items though. But Malmo does not need to do any YBAs though. I guess the problem for Malmo is actually Thieves Town. She needs to either juke or Mirador to get there, and both of those are not the fastest way to go, but it's the only choices she has right now. Malmo is bomb clipping even with the hammer, so that tells me she's going to Meyer. Krithel is going to Helmasaur. It's a little bit unfortunate he didn't do this first the way Malmo did, so that's like a little bit of a time loss, but not huge though. So Malmo... Okay, I see what Malmo's doing, and this is really good routing. She's going to do Vitreous, and then she can mirror to Desert, and go use the Desert Big Key in Thieves Town to solve that dungeon. But she still has to do the Swamp Crystal, which... Actually, yeah, she could actually choose to do that instead, using the Mire Key to unlock it, or... Well... Yeah, I don't know. I know she has the mirror, actually. She doesn't need to do that. She can just make a separate trip to the front door swamp. By using the mirror and the swamp small. She's still looking for items though, so this is giving time Krithel to check and like to catch up, because she is like this particular check if for a non-hoverer is also very slow because we have to go through many transitions to get to it. And pushing the block twice. I'm curious if she just does these two and then rushes the boss, or if this is actually a clear. Okay, never mind. We're not full clearing. Okay, so Krithel is going to Thieves Town via the Uncle Passage. Okay, so Krithel gets the YBA into Cave State Thieves. But Krithel not have the attic open, and he just remembered that. But that is important to unlock those if we're going to... I don't know if his plan is to leave and come back in right away, or just do a couple laps and then do the boss, and then leave and come back in. But kind of the bottom line here is because Krithel didn't have like any like good glitching items in Desert, it's just a lot slower to do Thieves Town now. And Malmo takes down Vitreous, then claims the Mire Crystal. So, and Malmo has to do Blind and TT Crystal, and has to do Swamp Crystal. She already has the Argus kill. So both of those can be solved by doing a mirror door. And it looks like we're going to TT first, which makes sense because we're already here. And Krithel is not opening anything. Okay, Malmo remembers important step for any mirror door. You must pick up a pot. It's the first step. If you don't, then you're gonna hate yourself afterwards. I'll just assume that was successful because I don't have her audio. So, like, this particular mirror door is a very long one. It's, like, the second longest one that is, like, somewhat commonly seen. But, eventually, this will have the YBA effect, more or less, and she will go to Thieves Town. Oh, so we're opening that one. That's funny, Krithel. I guess that one is the fastest one. Oh, so after this, I wonder where Krithel is going. We have to go back in to claim the crystal. This is a glitch called LSD blind. The purpose of that is to keep the door open so that we can leave. Being in cave state like Krithel is, he would be trapped in the room otherwise, with no prize to warp him. Meanwhile, Malmo is in desert state, Thieves Town, so she's going to use the desert big key to get blind out of the cell. Malmo forgetting that she has a glove, or maybe she wants to check the big chest. I'm not sure why we're going this way. The unfortunate fall. This room can be quite evil sometimes. Okay, she just totally. Oh no, she can't go that way. That was a good memory on her part. So actually, she can't take that subtile door because she is in the mirror door state. I forgot. That's good thinking on her part. Actually, she has to go the long way because a mirror door breaks the subtile transitions north-south because that's how she got here, was with a north-south mirror door. So that's why she had to go the long way, actually. So that was my mistake, not hers. Malmo's doing a really good job. Krithel claims the crystal. Malmo also doing LSD blind because she cannot get a warp because she already has the desert prize. Alright, where is Krithel going? Not having the... I think this is Meyer for Krithel. Not having the mitts, we want to go to Meyer this way. We're gonna do a lot of screen wrapping. And Malmo just needs to go back in to claim this crystal. We have to reset the dungeon. Okay, we're getting items still. Red mail, very nice. So this is called the super jump, what Krithel's doing. And Krithel should know how to do this without fixing a camera because this is like the AD RMG way to go to Meyer. Okay, he gives us a nice scrolly scroll too. How very nice of him to treat us to that. So Malmo reset the dungeon, so we are in Thieves Town state, and she just needs to claim the crystal. So Krithel's plan here is that he needs to clip... Well, it sucks because Moldorm is still alive, but probably the plan is to clip to Hera to get the crystal that way. It still is probably faster than going all the way back to Vitreus's room to get the crystal, since he already did the boss earlier. Well, at least he lost beams after doing the room. That Beamos is very rude. Malmo thinking for a second and decides to just hoof it on foot to go to Swamp. She has a mirror and Swamp Small and obviously Moon Pearl, so this is, you know, you just go and do it. But having already killed the boss, we're not, and not having the hookshot, we're not going to the back. She's going to do a mirror door to go to Hera, and she's also going to have to fight Moldorm to claim the crystal of Swamp in this case. But Krithel is going to fight Moldorm for the Meyer crystal. And unfortunately for Krithel, I think this is going to be it for him because unless Malmo forgets to pick up a pot before doing this mirror door, she's gonna have too much of a lead. Like, there's not enough that can go wrong. Oh, nice sword in swamp. The krithel does get the mire like fully complete now, with getting the crystal, having killed the boss earlier. And we transition to the dark world. Oh, krithel does not even know the prizes, so it's just super over. This is unfortunate. This is a mirrorless wrap for Laser Bridge. And Malmo does pick up a pot, so this seed is going to be over in probably like 5 minutes from now at the most. For Malmo, krithel is going to get a pendant from Trinex and be sad. Frankly, I don't blame krithel for coming here, though. This is like the path of least resistance, or swamp is a hassle. Like, we have good items for swamp, but it's still slower to do Argus and claim the crystal than it is to do this. Or I should say claim the prize, because he doesn't know that it's a crystal for swamp. Okay, so Malmo takes down Moldorm. Is gonna get her swamp crystal. I forgot for a second that it goes to the quadrant, because we're not in era. Alright, so Malmo is going to go to the right and then suddenly be in Dark World, because that's the way the game works. And then she's going to clip into TR and do a North Samaria to go to Agatu. Krithel also going to Agatu a different way. This is a little bit surprising. So this way is a quadrant glitch with the North Samaria, and Malmo's is just a North Samaria and then transitioning a few times. Wait, so we get in the lava and it takes us to Agatu. So unfortunately, for krithel not having 7 crystals and their bosses, this is not as close as it looks. Malmo for the climb. She gets it. Go, go. Left, right, scroll. Okay, good. Okay, so she skipped a little bit of the cutscene, and krithel did not go for the climb, or did not get it. Alright, so Malmo is into the Ganon fight. And krithel leaving to go to Swamp. And he does not have the mirror, so he has to go a different way into Swamp. He changed his mind. Maybe he was thinking that he wanted to flood the water first. No, I don't know where he's going, actually. He's trying to do the water conveyor, and okay, and he did do it. I don't know why we would do that instead of the bow. Oh, he wants to go to Swamp this way. That's interesting. Oh, similar to how he got to Mire. We can go to Swamp this way, but like nobody does it. So I'm a little surprised. Mostly because this one has kind of an ambiguous visual cue compared to the other one has some pretty good ones. And Malmo has defeated again, so let's get our GGs in chat for her. I'll be the winner of this race and the series. So Malmo has finished and won the race with an official time of 1 hour, 9 minutes, and 36 seconds. Very nice. Very, very nice. And she made, like, barely any mistakes, so the whole thing was super on point. And with that, krithel has decided to forfeit. So let's get our GGs in chat for krithel as well, because we do appreciate everyone for participating in the tournament. But krithel is not out, though. He will have a chance to succeed in the lower bracket. So, down but not out for krithel. And we are joined by Malmo. Congratulations.
Thanks.
So, where do I start? This was a little crazy. And we're joined by krithel as well. GG to you, krithel.
GG.
Looks like you played a different seed. You have a bottle. Where was that?
I had 3 bottles.
What?
Where were all my bottles? The first bottle was,
there was-
in C-shaped. And I got 2 bottles later?
There were 2 in GT.
Were there 2 in GT?
Oh yeah, I didn't touch GT or Escape, and I go-moded Thieves because I never got a bottle to, like, do Thieves. And at the end,
Oh god.
I had to do everything with the mirror. So I did 2 mirror doors for my go mode.
Which 2 mirror? Which mirror doors?
So I did Desert to Thieves to kill blind, and then I did.
Did you
Swamp.
have Desert Big?
Yes.
Oh wow. Where
It was
that?
on Argus.
Oh wow! You did Argus that early.
Yeah, I did Mothula before Kakariko.
Oh
And I
yeah.
was
I mean
so mad.
that's very justifiable.
I was so mad that the Moon Pearl was in CAC, but then having the cane ended up being like worth it. Like,
Incredibly good for you.
Worth.
It's hard to be mad at
sure.
having the cane for that.
That would have been
Alright, so
pretty.
I did think. Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah, I was just gonna say I would have been pretty cross if that happened, and also I found nothing in Skullwoods.
Sure.
So, Malmo, do you feel like you would have still been comfortable with the go mode had Bombos not been on path on Armos?
Can you think of a solution? Because I can't think of one.
You just do the Tajta way.
Oh, the Taj the bombs. Yeah, I haven't learned that. I do not have a solution. But you're right. That was a good. That would have been a good. Oh, the hook shots on Ped, by the way. Spoilers. I almost had that. Like, if Eastern was the pendant, I was just do Hera away from pulling Ped. So that's kind of funny.
Oh, so you did do TR.
Where'd
you get your ice rod from?
I don't have the TR pendant, but if TR was the crystal and Eastern was the pendant, I did Eastern to find out. My next plan was I'm gonna do Hera and pull Ped. So but I did clear all of TR, I just didn't open the big chest, and I obviously didn't kill Trinix because I didn't have the ice rod.
Yeah, I guess the question may have been kind of moot then, because you would have been looking for Ice Rod anyway. Well, I mean, maybe not. I guess those are 2 different questions, but it was pretty convenient for you that the Bombos was just there.
I didn't have a plan. I would have gone to like the Escape or something, looking for, or trying maybe just do like Mirror Door Thieves, and because I hadn't opened any chests in there except Attic. I needed 1 bottle. I needed 2 bottles for the sewer door sequence. I mean, what's your solution to that? Is it the overworld conveyor with you have to listen to the music? That requires 1 bottle.
No. You do the quadrant glitch, Samaria.
Oh, of course. I'm so glad I wasn't racing like Taj So in this one.
I mean, a lot of people know how to do that now. Like, I'm pretty sure I've seen like Dada and Duden like do that, like even with having bottles, just because if you don't have hook shot, like it's arguably because you could delete the door because you have to do the South Samari anyway. Like you could argue it's more efficient.
I guess it didn't matter because you had completely different stuff, but I'm wondering if krithel, would you have been able to do Meyer with no bottles and no bombos?
No bottles, no bombos, probably not, no.
Yeah, I was thinking that when krithel went to GT, I was like, this could be like a make or break play for the race. And, you know, it makes sense that the Ice Rod did draw you to TR in the end, but Malmo was just a little bit ahead, like, regardless of that. So, I mean, it makes sense for you to go to TR instead of Swamp with the 50-50 like that, but, we just knew that it was unfortunate in this case.
Yeah, there's no world I can justify doing Swamp when I've gone out of my way to do GT, and Swamp sucks because I've still got to open the way from Hera somehow.
Yeah, because of the mirror. Yeah, the mirror was really good for that. Being able to just
the mirror would have been great this seed. a lot of times, I mean, I spent a lot of time wishing I had the mirror.
Yeah, you get the red mail. I see you have red mail. That's a bummer. I'm sorry. I got it in the end, like in some post-go mode chest that I opened for fun. And I was like, good thing I'm getting this now and not earlier. Yeah, GT is such a gamble. I almost want to remove it from the game because it just swings races so heavily.
You're saying you want to remove GT. I think just Swamp and it needs to just be a pendant every time.
Swamp pendant? I think TR pendant is the way to go. Just ditch double rods and make TR pendant. You know, I am on a hot streak of pendant TRs in this tournament. I think maybe the last race might not have been, but all three against Chex were, and then Chex's next race was also a pendant TR. So that series has continued its legacy into this one and the other one.
Well, I think it was really well played for both of you. I'm kind of blanking on the questions, but you guys both played really, really well. Especially you, Malmo. That everything was like super, super on point, like with the routing and execution, and just remembering everything. Like I forgot that the Mirador breaks the transition, so you correctly routed Thieves Town, and
remembering to pick
I was
up
like,
pots.
oh, she doesn't have. Yeah, yes, that too. Yeah.
I did 3 glitches in this game that can 1,000-year door you and managed to not do that in any of them, and I'm proud of myself for that. Also, remembering Fake Light World out of Swamp was like the cherry on top. I can't play like this and pick up races for some reason. I think I'm just too distracted talking to chat and stuff. But when I'm in a tournament, I don't know, I just play better in tournaments.
Yeah, I'm the opposite. I can't perform in the tournament setting, but I feel like even though I'm not like always stellar, I feel like in pickup races I definitely do tend to perform better, but whatever. Well, I guess we could talk about the state of the bracket unless you two want to make more comments.
Well, yeah.
Nope.
Okay. Alright, so Malmo will advance to face the winner of Tam vs. Bayer, which is yet to be decided. That is going to game 3. krithel is in lower round 5 waiting for an opponent. The opponent will either be one of 3 people. It'll be So, Doomtap, or Duden, depending on the outcome of those races. There is a race going on right now, actually, so we can just wrap this up so everyone can get over there, if you guys don't have anything else.
No, GG, krithel. It's always good racing.
GG. Good luck in the rest of the tournament.
You too.
Yeah, good luck to
Maybe
both
I'll
of
meet
you.
you.
And very. Sorry. You could meet again in the end. You never know. So it was well played by both of you. All right. Well. So that will do it for us then. So there's Chex Human versus Prior on SpeedGaming right now. And thanks to Phoenix for setup. Thanks to Mr. Byer for tracking. Congratulations to Malmo and GG to krithel. And yeah, so we'll see you at SpeedGaming. My name is JD Silvergun. Thank you for watching.